Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cinema Savvy. It is me, Tate. I'm on a solo review today, and I am going to be talking about Pixar's new film, Elemental. It's the first Pixar film I've actually seen in a while in cinemas. I didn't actually get to go and see Lightyear in cinemas when it came out last year. So it's nice to go back to the cinema and watch a Pixar film. I grew up with watching a lot of Pixar films, such as, the Toy Story franchise, The Incredibles, all of those films that came out when I was a lot younger. Loved going to the cinema to go and watch those various different films. So it's nice to be, once again back in at the cinema in this mad, mad, mad summer year for films, with another animated film to stack onto the list of many, many good animated films that are coming out this year. I'm not talking about Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. I don't think anyone's seen that film. And I'll talk a little bit about, people seeing this film as well, because I don't think it's performed very well at the box office. But before we go into kind of thoughts on this film, please leave a comment below if you have seen this film. Join in the conversation. Let us know what you thought about it. There's a lot of films that are out this year, but I want to hear what everyone is thinking about Elemental, if anyone's actually gone and seen it. When I went to go see it today, the cinema was actually quite full, but then again, it was a Sunday morning, and the weather wasn't the nicest this weekend. It's brightened up now, but it was raining this weekend, so maybe some people in the UK would have seen it this weekend instead. So please leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as well. And also go follow us on our various different social medias. So Twitter and Instagram at cinema_savvy. Go follow us on Facebook and Letterboxd, try typing in Cinema Savvy, and go to the Redbubble link in the description to pick up some merch from us ourselves. So before I go into my thoughts on the film, I'll talk you through the synopsis for the film, which on IMDb this time is very basic. Doesn't really tell you anything about the film at all. So Elemental follows Ember and Wade in a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together. That cannot be closer to it doesn't leave you anything to work with, because I'd say that actually has nothing to do with the film in itself. I don't really want to go too heavily into spoilers here, because I'm fully aware that it's the first weekend this film is out. People may not have seen it. I know it's been out in America for a while, but for our UK viewers, they wouldn't have seen the film possibly yet. So I'll leave some things up to spoilers, but I will give a little bit more information into the film that aren't really spoiler based, if it gives people a little bit more insight into the film. This film is less of a story of kind of the four elements living harmoniously, and more of a story of kind of exclusion, immigration, and how kind of people who have grown up as parents of immigrants have kind of struggled to integrate with people from different cultures. It's a very nuanced film. It's a very interesting film. And I know that one of the comments running around online is this film doesn't have much humor in it. That's because there's a lot of serious topics tackled in this film. They go the Zootopia route or the Zootropolis route, depending on where you saw that, which region you saw that film, of kind of dealing with race issues. There's a lot of comments on kind of, things not working together, different elements, different kind of styles of living, different people and their different personalities not mixing with each other, which is where kind of our main, story stems from with both Ember and Wade. It's a love story. I don't really know how else to put it. It is a straight up love story between these two kind of star-crossed lovers or element-crossed lovers, I don't know, throughout the film and stuff like that. But it tackles with a lot of serious subject matters in this film. And I know that Pixar has always been known for being the films that, Disney's the happy, yay kind of traditional villain films and stuff like that. And only really recently have they started to delve into kind of more kind of nuance and, deeper kind of subject matters, and a lot of kind of heavier subject matters with the films themselves. Pixar's always been the leading front for kind of introducing a younger generation, or even the older generation, the parents watching the film, into heavier subject matters, heavier kind of ideas on the world, kind of, addressing various different issues and everything like that, across the board. So it was nice once again to kind of see a film that does tackle these things reasonably well, but because of that, there was a lack of humor in the film, which made it kind of an interesting watch. Like I said, Sunday morning screening, loads of kids in the cinema. I was expecting giggles to be going off all the time. I was expecting kids to be restless. And instead, it was pretty tame. It was very quiet. I was shocked. I wasn't disturbed at all from, the screening, especially with a screening with what you'd expect to be loads of screaming kids in. I will say it's a Pixar film, so there was a little bit of tears being shed and everything like that throughout the film. There are some tear-jerking moments, so it is kind of, like I said, a heavy subject matter film. There are moments where characters bond, moments where characters break, and it's very nice how it's been put together. It's very nicely animated as well, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on down the line. Pixar's recent form is an interesting thing that I'd like to bring up here because, like I said, I didn't get to watch that Lightyear in the cinemas last year, and Turning Red got the nod for Best Animated Feature over Lightyear, as far as the Pixar film's concerned. Luca, the film before that, was released immediately to Disney Plus, and then Soul had its Christmas Day release on Disney Plus, and then had a run on the festival circuit and did reasonably well. But Pixar is kind of starting to lack in the animated game. There are a lot of studios that have gone on to kind of succeed in different areas past Pixar and kind of make moves. Disney over the last few years has kind of taken that crown of, the family-friendly film front and everything like that. I know that Illumination have been doing really, really well with the box office and a massive fan favorite with kids for any film that they put out, especially with their film this year, Super Mario Bros. Movie. That was a fantastic film to start the year. You've got to then deal with the films like Spider-Verse, so Across the Spider-Verse this year, which pretty much has Best Animated Feature wrapped up already. I mean, we can all kind of say that straight away. That's probably going to win it. I don't think anything's going to overtake it. Nimona as well. I really enjoyed that film that came out this year from Netflix. So there are loads and loads of different film companies and animation studios that are coming in and really kind of taking the limelight, taking the spot. And Pixar has seemed to have lost its way over the recent years. I know that Turning Red has loads of fans. I really enjoyed Turning Red. I know that Lightyear has less fans. I think it angered people. It was an unnecessary film in that sense, and didn't really kind of help with kind of adding a backstory to a character that didn't really need a backstory. But overall, Pixar does seem to be lacking behind, and maybe this will drag them back up to form. I don't think it's going to win Best Animated Feature, but it'll probably be nominated. It's a very visually stylized film. It's got some really nice moments and really good character stuff in the film itself, but it is lacking that kind of, it's a family film. It's lacking that family focus in that sense of, having some kind of comic relief in there or anything like that, which normally I'd be completely against. I'd be like, yeah, make the film serious. I want to watch kind of serious animated film cinema and stuff like that. But this film definitely needed some kind of, not humorous character, but it needed a few more jokes to kind of break the ice and break the room, which it was definitely lacking in that sense. I did enjoy the movie, but I'm just saying that, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more humor, and a lot of the humor in the end ended up being kind of more background gags and, just one-time kind of things. I put it this way. Most of the jokes are in the trailer. That's kind of the best way of putting it. There are a few action sequences as well, which are, once again, very, very visually stylized, and every single element in the film has their own kind of unique style of, not animation, but their kind of appearance in the film, and each of them kind of display various different forms of their appearances. More focus based around kind of the couple in the film, Ember and Wade, with kind of fire and water being the two main elements that we follow throughout the film. However, we do get to see a lot of the land or the earth elements, less so of the air residents. Only really kind of one character who's an air resident who gets any kind of screen time, and then one sequence in the film which has any kind of air being shown off or anything like that. Most of the film is focused around the rest of the elements in that sense. The characters themselves I really enjoyed as well. I really, really enjoyed both Ember and Wade as the two lead characters in the film. They're given a really heavy amount of backstory, and they're brilliantly voice acted by Leah Lewis and Mamadou Afi as well. Do you know what? One thing I love about this film, and this is something that I'll always say whenever animated feature films come out and stuff like that, I like the fact that I don't recognize the two lead characters as far as voice acting is concerned. And Ronnie Del Carmen as well, I believe works for the animation studio as well, who plays Bernie in the film. So it's excellent that we do have, actual people who are kind of not based around voice actors, but unknown artists, voicing the characters. It's my one criticism that I did have for the Super Mario Bros. Movie earlier on in the year. It's one of those, they bring in celebrities to voice the roles. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I feel like for this film, it would not have worked if I'd have gone, bang, I know exactly who that is as far as a voice actor is concerned. The fact that you don't know those people, you really attach yourselves to the character and not to the name of the person playing the character, which I think enhances the film itself, because then you have a greater connection to those character roles and you have a greater connection to the story in that sense. Like I said, the characters in this film are vibrant, they're fun. I'd say that Ember, in the trailer they explain it themselves, Ember runs hot, and Wade kind of, as a character is, I don't want to say a little bit wet, but he's a character who is very emotional and wears his heart on his sleeve and stuff like that. And it works as a nice kind of character beat to play off each other, and you get to see that relationship blossom and kind of form, and how they interact with other people based on their relationship as well is very, very fun. So I really enjoyed how they were able to handle that in the film, because I wasn't sure what kind of story beats would be and how they would figure that out. But in the end, I really enjoyed it for that sense. Going back onto the visuals, the city itself, we don't actually get to see too much of. We kind of get to spend more time in Firetown, or what they call, and Watertown as well. Some of the kind of suburbs of Element City, which is the main area for the film in itself. But as far as visuals concerned, I think the best thing about this film is the fact they're able to kind of, have those different elements stylized differently for the various different things in the film itself. The costume designers for the characters, especially for Ember and all the fire residents, are fantastic throughout the film. Really, really good. And yeah, as far as the visuals concerned, it's once again Pixar at their best, doing what they do and everything like that. So really enjoyed that in itself. As far as standout moments, without spoiling anything too much, I really enjoyed. There's a moment in the trailer where they kind of show off what they can do with Ember stepping on crystals and Wade kind of creating a rainbow and stuff like that. It's a really nice character connection moment within the film itself. The quiet moments of this film are better than the loud moments of this film, though, and this is why I find it really, really difficult. This film is it's a Pixar film. I know that Pixar films aren't specifically geared towards kids. I would say this one is geared towards adults, because a lot of the quieter moments are very nice touches, very, very kind of nice start of relationship, kind of like boy meets girl touches. And the conversations that the two main characters have, who take up most of the dialogue of the film, are fantastic. The way they work off each other, starting quite awkward, kind of getting to know each other, to where they end up towards kind of the middle and the end of the story, of them starting to actually blossom and get really into knowing each other and understanding each other as well, which is a key part of the story. I think it's very, very well done. The screenplay was very good. It's very well acted in that sense as well. So the standout moments for me are any quiet moments in the film, because they are very, very well put together. In summary, it's a good Pixar film. I wouldn't say it's a complete return to form, but I'd say it's a good kind of middle ground Pixar film. I'd place it bang slap in the middle of kind of my Pixar ranking, if I was able to do it in my head just quickly off the bat. The director for the film, Peter Son, his previous work was The Good Dinosaur. That was his film that he did previously, as far as directing is concerned. And I'd say this is a massive step up from The Good Dinosaur. This film is a lot better than his original work. As far as I'm concerned, I'll probably watch this again at some point, maybe later on in the year when it comes onto Disney Plus. I don't know if it's going to have a prolonged release, purely out of the fact that it's not doing too well in the box office. It's fallen into the trap of everything in June and start of July not doing very well on the box office, which is crazy. It's absolutely maddening how many films have failed this month, or not been able to pick up as much as they were expecting to. Pixar film I had in our summer preview, picking up a lot of money. I was like, yep, it's going to do very well. You don't bet against Pixar, but it seems like people are betting against Pixar, and it's just his performance is kind of matching all the other films that are going out this month. I'm assuming that means that next month Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is coming out tomorrow, so that's going to be a massive hit, I'm sure of it. And then we've got Barbie and Oppenheimer coming out a few weeks after. That's just going to soak up all of the box office for the summer, I guess. And between those three films, they will, take over. I'm surprised that this film didn't perform better, I'll be honest. I know that in the US, it's being kind of reported that it has been doing very well, but my screening today was quite full. I know that I looked at tickets for earlier on in the weekend and earlier on in the week, and also people were going to go see that. So maybe it's going to do better on the international box office, but you never quite know. you never quite know in itself. It may do a better run when it comes onto Disney Plus. Who knows? Who knows if it's going to pick up its audience elsewhere? But I feel like it deserves to pick up an audience because I do think it's a decent film. I do think it's a good film. It is going to find a hard time competing against various other things. Like I said already, Nimona on Netflix, straight onto streaming. Very fun film. Really enjoyed that. One of my favorite films of the year so far. You've got Across the Spider-Verse, which I think is still showing in some cinemas, or possibly it stops its run now. And apart from that, family-friendly films, you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtle Mayhem, what's it called, Mutant Mayhem, coming out later on in the year. There's a few other kids' films coming out from when I saw the trailers, and that's about it, really. So I'm kind of surprised that this film hasn't done as well, but I guess we'll see once the dust settles with the box office. So thank you. This was my very short solo review of Elemental. Please tell me if you've seen the film. Tell me if you like it. Put those down in the comments below. Really want to start a discussion on all the films we're doing and everything like that. So remember to like, comment, share, and also subscribe. We're pushing to try and get to 3,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So share this video with people, share the channel with your friends, get people involved in the conversation as much as possible. And go and follow us on various different social medias, Twitter @cinema_savvy, Facebook and Letterboxd. Just type in Cinema Savvy as well, and go to our Redbubble link in the description. Help support the channel. We've got loads and loads of videos coming up, especially videos coming out in the next few weeks regarding new box office films, our big bombs of the summer, or not even bombs, sorry, our big hits of the summer. I mean, Oppenheimer will be definitely a bomb, but in a different sense. But loads and loads of content going to be coming out. Myself and George, we're going to be on top of it as much as possible. So keep an eye on our social media streams, which are down here in the description as well, to keep track of all the different things we're putting out for the summer. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.